You know how Dave is into that ASMR?
Yeah, he likes the whisper stuff. He likes when women whisper in his ear.
Well, see, he's always talked about ASMR, which I've never really gotten. I understand what he puts on headphones and women whisper to him at night. And we speculated on the types of things that they whisper to him.
Well, you know, I've done a little research on this, and I'm going to tell you, if you ever want to see some weird stuff, look up some of these videos.
ASMR.
Yeah, because it's not just... Now, Dave likes what I think is probably maybe the most normal, where it's just somebody maybe talking like this.
Okay, so, right. So
Yeah.
I thought that's what that was. In this show, and you can expand on it. In this show that Biggie and I are watching, The White Lotus. Now, we're the only two people in America watching it, probably. But it's a pretty good show.
Good show.
Yeah, and there's a scene. Now, these two, they're playing 18-year-olds, friends, are gone to Hawaii with one of the parents, you know, one group of parents. She's invited a friend. And they're sitting there on the bed at night, and one says, man, I wish we had some drugs and get high. And the other girl says, well, I got some weed in this bong. We can do some bong rips. And then the first girl says, oh, good, I got some oxy. It's like, all right, let's go at it. I got some ketamine.
More drugs than we thought.
Yeah, it really excels quickly.
Yeah, it's like, how'd they get all that on the place? Like a pharmacy.
It is, yeah.
Anyway, so they do some bong rips, okay, bong hits, and they're getting high. And one says to the other, you want to do some ASMR? And I thought, ooh, that's a Dave thing. That's a Dave Aiken.
That's a Dave thing.
Dave Aiken special. But I thought all it was whispering. But they started like rubbing each other's faces and making sounds like crinkly paper next to their ears and so forth, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you really go deep on this stuff, it's a lot more than just talking. It's a lot of like doing this with your fingers.
Yeah, like next to the ear.
Yeah, and they kind of move around the mic and they'll be like, pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
And the way they talk, they'll say like,
yeah, it's
like
really
it's
weird.
It's weird stuff, man. And what makes it weird to me is you're not supposed, I'm sure, to watch the video. But if you watch the video, it's really weird. It's just one person around a mic going, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Pa, 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 pa.
Supposedly, people who... There's like two types of people in the world. The types of people like you who just kind of raise your eyebrows and occasionally get erect when watching 20-something actors do it. Right. Or people like Dave who get like a literal sensory response, like, you know, the hair stand up on your skin. Dave gets that response from the whispering.
So I went down a rabbit hole of this.
Sorry, you heard that too.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm
that
sorry.
pretty
gassy?
I'm sorry. I had a Celsius.
Whisper that.
Yeah.
I want to apologize to this audience. I just cranked a Celsius back there, just downed it. Just
You bong ripped
I
it?
bong ripped a Celsius because I have to have some
Yeah,
energy.
get hype.
I got to get hype for this show. What else I'm
You
doing?
didn't used to.
Well, the other thing I'm doing is staying up late watching Breaking Bad with my son. So yesterday we were at a particularly great time in the show, which I've already seen, but now I'm so riveted by it. I told him last night, look, I can only do one episode, but it was so good. He goes, let's do another. I said, all right, let's do another.
Fine, okay, let's do it.
And I said, I'll bong rip a Celsius just to get me going. You know, I need
You're
to get
drinking them at night now?
No, I thought to myself, I'll bong rip
need
one
it in the morning
today, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Well, I did already. So that's where I had a little gas. I want to apologize for that.
Kiwi guava?
Yeah, the kiwi guava, and that's coming back on me now, and I want to apologize for that. But
that was a little ASMR.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I was doing a little ASMR. You're right. I don't understand how anybody would be like sensory, somehow get sensory reaction to that. But
Why do you like your hair pulled?
I do like.
You know, Dave doesn't get that.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand. Listen, we all have our things,
man.
I like my hair pulled. You know, I like certain things touched.
Who doesn't?
But they never get touched. That's the thing. You know, I'll sometimes say, touch this. And she'll go, nah, not today.
I ain't touching that.
Not today.
You're getting me on that one.
We're not doing that.
I'll tell you, when I went down this rabbit hole of ASMR videos, I found one that was, apparently people really like to get what they call the tingles. Where you hear something that really just kind of, like, you feel it down your spine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it was this video, and it had millions of views. It was like, you know, for people who've never gotten tingles, I'm gonna use surefire methods to do it.
What did they do?
He like took a brush and would rub it over the mic.
Oh, really?
You know, and
Like a hairbrush?
yeah, it was like but like a soft, and everything was about, you know, trying. And I did. I closed my eyes. It was 30 minutes. I was like, I'm gonna give this a shot. Nothing.
Nothing. No,
It didn't do anything for me.
wouldn't for me
No
either.
tingles.
No, and it didn't even make me sleepy, which is what a lot of people are supposed to do. You know, I'm a person that I can't do the ocean sounds. I can't do the sounds. I just like it just
Quiet. Or TV.
Yeah.
That's what I do. But I'll tell you what, I got something out of these girls doing it to each other. I couldn't believe it. They were in
Yeah, I
there.
bet you did.
You know, I watch it with my wife. I'm sitting there just like, oh, I'm tingling.
I am tingling.
Just unbelievable. I can't let on. She's like,
Yeah.
don't you? You know, they're all these teens are so. I mean, they are as you look at them, you just can't stand them because they're so privileged and they're so. You know how. I mean, they're the typical
Wasted in paradise.
Yeah. It's like they don't
On
appreciate
someone else's dime.
They don't appreciate what they have, and they're made to be that way. These characters are. And my wife will look over, can't you? She goes, don't you just hate these two? And I'm like, yeah. I hate them, but boy, when they're together doing that ASMR.
Interesting.
And I don't know what ketamine is.
I don't either.
And maybe Biggie, I don't know.
I think it's a tranquilizer. I think it's a down, but I'm not sure.
Well, in this episode of this show, the girl, it's a powder, and they started doing it. And I said, "What are they doing? Cocaine?" And my wife said, "No." She said that was ketamine. And once they took it, it did seem like a downer because another character talks to them, and it's going slow motion.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a good scene.
That
too.
was funny.
Yeah, she comes up and she's like, "Hey, girls, want to get a massage?
You girls are so pretty."
I know.
That's what you guys sound like to them,
I know. That's right.
to the actors.
Yes.
You're 18, right?
I believe you were 18.
You play teen really well.
I was so drawn into it. I just kept staring at it till it went to that like interviews after the show, which HBO does sometimes. They do a little 5-minute look inside the episode.
Oh, a little BTS, as we call it. Not the boy band, the behind the scenes.
Yeah, a little BTS. And they, but it took me out of the fantasy because they talked to all these really good-looking actresses, and they're like, "Can you believe the white privilege this character?" And I was like, "Oh yeah."
Wait, I am white privilege.
Tingle gone. I can't do that anymore. I can't do BTS anymore. Total tingle gone immediately when she said that. Can you believe these characters that we're playing? They're horrible. Oh yeah, okay.
Oh, you're ruining it.
Completely ruined. Couple of things from yesterday's program. I got a lot of emails saying my son is right. The gas at Costco goes faster than other. I thought he was out of his mind when he said this. My son, who is 16 and just started driving, we were riding the other day. He's driving, and we're going to get gas. And he just said out of the blue, how come the gas, when we get it at Costco, goes away faster than when we get it somewhere else? And I said, son, that's in your mind. That's not true. Or you're just driving more in between. He goes, nah, that's sus. And
that's
he's
what?
Suspect. He goes, that's mad sus. He goes, you're keeping it from me. He goes, you're trying to keep me in the dark on this. And I said, nah, bruh.
Gas is gas.
Gas. That's why I said gas is gas. I mean, dozens and dozens of emails yesterday saying, no, he's right. Go to Shell. Go here. Go there.
Yeah, there's tiers of gasoline.
Yeah, and people notice that when they get it, especially at Costco, it burns off faster. And they said that's the reason Costco sells it a dime cheaper than everywhere else.
They're paying even less.
Yeah, you go through fast.
Yeah.
A lot of people said get it at this place, that place, and it'll wind up saving you money in the long run. Now, I'm blown away by that.
I was standing in an auto shop one time behind a lady who was basically getting water removed from her gas tank.
Yes.
And the mechanic said, she said, well, how does this happen? And he said, well, it's the gas you're getting. You're getting cheap gas. He said, this is what happens over time when you keep getting cheap gas.
Yeah.
And he said, and she said, well, where should I get gas? And he said, basically the well-known places.
Yes.
The places you've heard of nationally, like your Shells, your BPs. But then he's like, if they're cost-cutting gas, that's not where you need to go.
Well, a mechanic told me try to avoid it with the 10% ethanol, but it's in almost every place I see 10% ethanol. Now, you said Shell doesn't put in ethanol.
They did. I know they did not a few years ago. I don't know if that's still accurate.
Well, now some people did swear by their gas yesterday. I got a lot of emails saying go to Shell, download their app, get it. You get 3 cents off, 5 cents off, whatever. If you download their app after so many fill-ups. And it's a better quality gasoline.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I'm with you. I didn't know either.
Now, I've heard of getting cheap gas so it gets junk in there or water. But just the fact that it would burn faster, is it possible my son has stumbled onto something but using his own deductive reasoning that I had no idea existed?
I got to tell you, when I was 16, the last thing I ever checked in the in the car was the odometer. I mean, I would know when the gas was running down and have to go get more gas.
Well, I don't think he was checking odometer. I think it was just time for him. He goes to the same places pretty much every day.
X number of days between fill-ups.
Exactly. He's like, I have to do it way faster when I get it at Costco than when I get it somewhere else. So I'm going to make a check. I'm going to do this and figure out
Good luck.
how long it takes me.
Where will you start?
I think I'll start with Costco.
Fill up?
With the fill. I'll let it get empty. And I'll fill
Note your mileage.
Yes, I'll fill it up at Costco. I'll take some notes.
Get the date and the mileage.
Yes, and then the next time around, I'll go somewhere else. I'll do like 3 or 4 places just to see. Because I thought my kid. Well, now my kid yesterday said, out of the blue, he was our dog was up next to him on the couch, and he said, "Isn't it weird to think that I could have been born a dog?" And we all just looked at him like, "What do you? What do you mean by that?" And he said,
Did you consider not following up?
Well, I didn't. My wife, I just, shook my head.
Yeah.
And my wife said, "What are you talking? You sound like an ignorant. What are you talking about?" And he goes, "Well, just the way the universe is. I mean, what if I was a dog? I could be a dog." And my daughter said, "Not according to the Bible." One of those. So then we're getting into that.
Oh boy.
She goes, "Need I quote the Bible for you?" And
No.
I said, "Please don't." I was kind of zoned out of this. But my son's like, "No, seriously, I could be a dog." And my wife said, "Don't repeat that to anybody else."
Please don't say that out loud.
Don't say that out loud. But I was fresh off the gas emails, that he had made some sense.
Right.
So I thought,
up is down.
yes.
Yeah.
I thought, is he having,
Maybe he's right.
is he having some really deep thoughts here?
Have we really been underestimating him? There's no way, right? Right.
Is it possible I've underestimated the boy all these years? And he's
a budding philosophical genius.
Maybe he's like Socrates reborn, and he's got all the answers.
There's no way he's right.
Could he be a dog? And then he goes, sometimes it'd be really great to be a dog. Wouldn't it be great to be a dog? And I was like, yeah. And I looked at our dog. The dog was like upside down, just laying there getting a belly rub. And said, well, maybe he's got a point.
He's right.
Maybe.
Yeah, when they're sleeping in the sun.
Oh, yeah.
Not a care in the world.
My dog does have it awfully easy. And I thought, really depends on what lot you're born into as a dog.
Yeah.
But you could have a very easy life. Then a P1 email. This is more stuff from yesterday's program. And he says, Matt, he says, I'm traveling on Friday, so I need to know the exact time you're going to reveal the Olympic factoid because I'm planning my trip around it.
Oh, Matt.
The 3-year tease.
The 3-year tease.
We're getting closer and closer.
Matt, I beg of you.
Got a business trip on Friday.
Get on that plane.
Don't do this to yourself.
The moment you shut off your phone, that's when we'll reveal it. The moment you put it in airplane mode.
I know. He is scheduling his trip around the Olympic factoid, and he's right to do so. This is that good. This factoid came to me. I read about it 3 years ago during the Winter Olympics of 18, I guess. Yes, of 2018. And I was on the verge of just reveal the next day. It's like, oh, here's a factoid. But no, Chris Demm stopped me. He said, let's wait until because it's a summer Olympic factoid, not a winter Olympic factoid. And he said, let's hold it until the 2020 Olympics. So we put it in an envelope. We dated it. So we're going to do it opening day of the 2020 Olympics. Well, in 2020, we know what happened. Pushed back. We don't get the 2020 Olympics for another year. So we've been teasing this factoid for 3 years. And now I'm very worried that it won't deliver. We've overhyped, overpromised, and it won't deliver.
Without a doubt.
I mean, I'm really because it's like it's got to be really good now.
Yeah,
we're getting to the point. It's been 3 years, so I sprung it on my wife a couple of days ago, and she said, "Wow, that's a great factoid." So we have that at least going for.
So you've beta tested it.
I have.
You're back to high hopes.
I have. At least she liked it.
Well, what are you telling our friend Matt who's traveling?
Well, I told him prime time. I told him between 7 and 7:30 East.
Okay.
And then I think we probably should repeat it
every hour.
On the hour?
I like
as
it.
they say.
Yeah.
Well, I like the every hour on the hour, but I'm afraid then your reaction, the first time around is going to be, oh my God, you've done it.
Diminishing returns.
But then the second time it'll be like, okay, we've heard it. That's difficult.
Yeah.
Some radio shows, they say repeat your material 2 hours later because you got a lot of big audience.
Because some
change.
people only listen to the radio in tiny bits.
That's right. Well, a lot of people. You listen to 15, 20 minutes here or there. But here's what happens. I feel like when you repeat it later, everybody on the show kind of checks out because you've already done it. It's like
It's not fresh.
And I think that's human nature. It's not fresh. So it's like, all right, we heard this. Move on. Now, and then some people say, well, just record it and play it later, which is another option. But then I get a lot of emails saying you're a lazy hack.
What kind of radio show is this?
Yeah, you are a lazy hack. And then I hate myself even more than I already do. You're such a lazy hack. Like, well, I shouldn't get into it. Yesterday, we had a real challenge at the gym, and you had to run as far as you could. It's like a beat the clock thing. And every minute, she's like, you have to be at this point or you have to stop.
Did you run to the Indian restaurant? Or you mean on a treadmill?
Treadmill.
Oh.
Treadmill.
Not the high school that's just down the street?
No.
He's doing that to you.
I know.
Run as far as you can.
All right.
Good. He's gone.
Where?
Doesn't matter.
Go.
All right. See you next week.
No. On the treadmill.
So you never really left the premises.
No. You're on a treadmill, and you go as far as you can go in 23 minutes, okay? And every minute to 2 minutes, they say, if you're not at this point, you have to stop. That's it.
Oh.
It starts out easy. It's like in the first 2 minutes, you have to be at like 0.1 mile. You have to. So it's like, okay, everybody's there, and then, but as it goes, it gets harder and harder and harder. And I've got a soft hammy right now, a soft hamstring. But I was in.
Is this pickle related?
Yeah, I think it is. I pulled it, had a pickle pull, and Coach Kathy was the coach, and I like to try to please her. And yesterday, as I was just screaming in agony at about minute 15 or 16, she came behind me and she goes, you got to pump it up or you're out.
Oh, no.
And so I pumped it up, and now my hamstring is just crushing me. But I didn't want to disappoint her,
Rather than telling her,
Yeah.
I overdid it,
Yeah.
I'm a weekend warrior.
Yes.
You're expecting way too much of me.
Yeah, I tried my best to hang in there. And even when all was said and done, I couldn't go as far as I wanted to. But I tried to do it for Coach Kathy without revealing that I had
Trying for you.
without revealing I had a sore hammy. That's what kind of pleaser I am. So
that when they strap you to the gurney, inevitably.
It's not. I'm sorry, it's not funny.
they're looking down at me.
Right. All these people dressed in orange.
Yeah.
And you're there sweating. And your heart's exploded in your chest.
Did I give it my best?
When the world goes dark.
Yeah.
Yes.
Both of your Achilles have exploded.
Yeah.
I did it for you, Kathy. You did all this for me? Yes.
We really got to get him to the hospital, man.
Can you give us? How about this guy giving us a thumbs up on the way into the back of the ambulance?
So that's what I'm saying is I want to please so badly. I can't record something and move it because one person might say, you lazy sack of crap. How dare you move it? It's a little revelation just to strip away the layers.
Yeah, it's a little BTS on radio.
Yeah, let me BTS you here for a second. I can't move it or change it because someone would say, you are the laziest piece of Heard it already. Plus, we replay enough in different times when we're not here, and that's what you get. I got a guy yesterday, an email, and it's stuck with. I never even replied, but it stuck with me so much.
I hate those.
I mean, I'll try to paraphrase it. It said like the subject line was P1 for 10 years, and he wrote, I've been a P1 listener to your program for 10 years. So I was ready to say, oh, thank you so much, And then he said, but the longer I listen, the more depressed I get. Then he said, my wife turned me on to audiobooks, so I'm listening way less. And my life is so much better for it. It's like, why would you tell somebody that?
Yeah.
That's like me walking into a McDonald's and saying, I
really am enjoying Burger King.
With this new Burger King thing they've got going. It's so great. It's like you're out of your way to tell somebody
I'm using you less.
Yes.